by the name of God, I told you hello. I hope you are very good. We are speaking about the direct inguinal hernia, and we are going to another shape. About the indirect hernia, I told you it is a defect in the fetus, maybe the process vaginalis. The process vaginalis is a process of peritoneum that come to the inguinal canal. This process in the fetus must going to disappear and obliterate. If the process vaginalis, it is process vaginalis, it is a process of peritoneum. If this process vaginalis, here you can see, here is, this is a, here you can see, this is a deep inguinal ring. This is process vaginalis. This is this blue. It is a process of peritoneum, has two layers. These two layers must coming to each other and obliterate from here. But if in a fetus this process is not disappeared, maybe the coils of the small intestine from deep inguinal ring by this process come to the inguinal canal. This is named indirect inguinal herniation. Here we don't have any weakness in the muscles. Here we have a defect. What is defect? Defect is not disappeared the process vaginalis. Here you can see, read, the indirect inguinal hernia is the most common form of hernia and is believed to be congenital in origin. The hernial sac is the remains of the process vaginalis. It follows that the sac enters the inguinal canal through the deep inguinal ring. This means the small intestine come from deep inguinal to the inguinal canal. Why they can come? Because here not obliterate the process vaginalis. The process vaginalis is a passageway from the abdomen to the inguinal canal. This passageway must obliterate and disappear. But here this is not disappear. It is appear here. And the hernial sac, you can see here, it follows that the sac enters the inguinal canal through the deep inguinal ring lateral to the inferior epigastric artery. It is inferior epigastric artery. In the direct hernia, the sac of hernia is medial to this artery, is here in the direct. But in the indirect, the hernial sac is lateral to the inferior epigastric artery in the indirect hernia, because the inferior epigastric vessels is medial part of the deep inguinal ring. Here is it may extend part of the way along the canal or the full length. It means that the small come to the canal may only come until here or may continue and the small intestine going to scrotum. As far as the superficial inguinal ring, if the process vaginalis has undergone no obliteration, then the hernia is complete and extends through the superficial inguinal ring down to the scrotum or labia majus in the female. Under these circumstances, the neck of the hernial sac lies at the deep inguinal ring lateral to the inferior epigastric artery, like here, and the body of the sac resides in the inguinal canal and scrotum or base of labia majus. This means maybe a small intestine only stop in the inguinal canal, it is incomplete, or maybe the small intestine come to scrotum, it is complete hernia. Thus, indirect inguinal hernia may be complete or incomplete. I hope that you understand what's the difference between direct and indirect hernia. Another hernia I want to speak about is femoral hernia. You can see here femoral hernia. You know, here is the inguinal ligament, here is the femoral artery, femoral vein. They are enclosed with a deep fascia of the femoral region. This is named femoral sheath that includes the femoral artery and femoral vein and no femoral nerve. The femoral nerve is not in this sheath. It is laterally. In the femoral sheath, we have three compartments. One compartment is for artery, it is lateral. Middle compartment is for femoral vein. And medial to this compartment, we have another compartment. This compartment is the medially is named femoral canal. Here is compartment of artery, compartment of the vein, and here is femoral canal. Superior of femoral canal is face to the abdomen here. It is named femoral ring. Femoral ring. In the woman, the vessels are very small. This means the artery and vein of femoral are small, but the femoral canal is large. Why? Because the femoral vessels are small. When they are small, here is large. The femoral ring is the superior part of femoral canal. The femoral ring in the woman is larger than the man. Here is veered by the peritoneum, and maybe when we have many pressure in the abdomen, the small intestines by peritoneum come from inguinal ring to the femoral canal like this. It is named femoral hernia. This hernia in the woman is common and rarely in the men. You can see here, I explained it in the previous class. Here is inguinal hernia, is femoral hernia. Here you can see an inguinal hernia can be distinguished from femoral hernia by the fact that the sac, as it emerges through the superficial inguinal ring, lies above and medial to pubic tubercle. Here in the inguinal, the femoral sac in the superiorly and medial to the pubic tubercle. This black point is femoral tubercle. But in the femoral hernia, this is the pubic tubercle, the sac of the hernia in the femoral is lateral to the tubercle and inferior to the tubercle. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye until another unit about the lesson. Thank you for your attention.